Good morning, second graders. It is time for our Chapter 5 test. So some of you may have chosen to do this on your own, which is fine. If you chose to watch the video, I will walk you through it and help you through it. And then when you are done, I will post the answers on a PDF that your parents can look at, and then they can correct the test for you and tell me what score you got. So good luck. At any time during this video, if you need to pause it and take more time, that is perfectly fine, all right? We're going to look at our data that was collected. This is our table, and it has the data about roses picked. So these are the kids who picked roses: Brad, Mark, Pam, and Lewis, and this is how many roses they picked. On number 1, I want you to make a picture graph, and remember that a picture graph, you need to draw the pictures. So you would draw a picture of a flower in each one of the boxes. Make a picture graph to show the data in the table. Don't forget the title. The title is always the same as it is up here. Write your title and then make this graph using pictures. You may pause the video right now and go ahead and get started. Okay, boys and girls, if you are back, we are ready for number 2. Number 2, I want you to make a bar graph that shows the same data from the picture graph and the table. The title will be the same. You need to write what goes here, and then you need to number it. And it's very important that you remember what number you start with on a bar graph, okay? That's the only hint I can give you. Go ahead and complete your bar graph. Pause the video while you do that, and when you come back, we'll be ready to go on. Okay, boys and girls, we are ready for the back of that page. Turn to the back, and you will see number 3. Up here we have a table that shows strawberries and 2 children, Paula and Ronaldo. Use the picture graph right here with the strawberries. Write the number, ring, which means circle, the words more or fewer. Okay? So you need to look at the graph. You need to count how many strawberries Paula picked, how many Ronaldo picked, and it says Paula has blank more or fewer strawberries than Ronaldo. So look at the strawberries. Does Paula have more or fewer? Circle one of those words. And then how many more or fewer? Okay, number 4, and like I said, anytime you need to pause the video for more time, you can do that. Number 4 says solve these word problems and show your work. So over here you need to show how you got the answer. Ray has 34 peaches in his basket. Maria has 19 peaches in her basket. How many more peaches does Ray have than Maria? So that's what we're trying to find out. How many more peaches does Ray have than Maria? Go ahead and begin and pause the video. When you're finished with number 4, come back and we'll do number 5. All right, number 5. Michelle picks 28 apples. She picks 12 fewer than Hey Kim. We want to know how many apples does Hey Kim pick. Remember that if Michelle picks 12 fewer, Hey Kim picks that many more. And we want to know how many Hey Kim picks. So decide how you're going to solve that problem and show your work right over here. Go ahead and begin. All right, number 6 says, Kevin picks 12 more apples than Brendan. Kevin picks 50 apples. But we want to know how many apples does Brendan pick. If Kevin picks 12 more apples, then we know that Brendan picks that many less than Kevin, right? And we want to know how many Brendan picks. So Kevin picks 50 apples. If that's 12 more than Brendan, then Brendan picks 12 less than that. Go ahead and solve it. All right, boys and girls, if you have finished that page, go ahead and turn to the next page. If you need more time, just pause the video. Use the bar graph, write the number, ring more or fewer. And remember that ring means draw a circle around. Okay, so this bar graph is a vertical bar graph of the animals at Mr. Brown's farm. This shows how many animals there are, and this shows the animals: horses, cows, pigs, and chickens. First, it says to write the number. So under each one of these, write how many there are according to that bar graph, okay? Now let's look at number 7. There are blank more or fewer chickens than pigs. So look at the chickens, look at the pigs. Are there more or fewer chickens than pigs? Circle the correct answer. Then I need to know how many more or fewer. Number 8 says there are blank animals at Mr. Brown's farm in all. So how would you figure out how many animals there are on the whole farm altogether? Go ahead and pause the video and complete that problem. And then when you are ready, join me back again. Okay, boys and girls, welcome back. Number 9 asks us to use the bar graph up here, this same bar graph, to solve these problems. 2 of the cows are calves. The rest are adult cows. How many adult cows are there? So let's look at the cows. If 2 of them are calves, how many are adults? Go ahead and write the number and make sure and label it. If at any time you need to pause the video, go ahead and do that. Number 10 says there are 2 fewer chickens at Mrs. Smith's farm than at Mr. Brown's farm. How many chickens are there in all at the 2 farms? So we need to know how many chickens Mr. Brown has. Okay. We also need to know that Mrs. Smith has 2 less than Mr. Brown. So we need to know how many Mrs. Smith has, and then we need to know how many the 2 of them have together. All right? Solve that, write your answer, and label it. You may stop the video at any time. Number 11 says, if Mr. Brown's farm gets 3 more horses, how many more horses than cows will there be? So if they get 3 more, this is how many horses they have. If they get 3 more, how many will they have? And then how many more horses than cows will there be? Okay, write your answer and label it. You can pause the video and continue working on that. Okay, boys and girls, welcome back. Our last page is clocks. Okay, you're going to look at the analog clock on 12, 13, and 14, and you are going to write the time in digital form. Remember that the hour is going to be the hour that the hour hand is on or has just passed. So be really careful with that, okay? On number 15, 16, and 17, you're going to look at the time and you're going to draw the hands. Remember that the hour hand is the short one, the minute hand is the long one. The minute hand should be touching the number. The hour hand should only be about halfway to it. Remember, if it's halfway past the hour hand is going to be halfway between the 2 numbers, okay? On the rest of it, for each activity, ring the time that makes sense. Wake up in the morning, 7 o'clock p.m., 6:30 a.m. You have to remember which one is morning and which one is evening. 19, go to the beach in the afternoon, 9 o'clock a.m. or 2 o'clock p.m. Boys and girls, number 20 is a bonus question. If you get it right, you get extra points. If you miss it, it's okay. It's not going to count against you. I just want you to try your best. It's called an extended response. Explain how you can use skip counting to find the time shown on the clock. And skip counting is when we count by fives or tens or hundreds, that's called skip counting. So how could you use skip counting to figure out what time is on this clock? Okay, tell somebody in your family and then write that answer down. When you are finished with this test, Mom and Dad are going to pull up the answer sheet and they're going to correct it with you. Mom and Dad, if they get something wrong, stop and explain it to them. Tell them what happened so that they understand it. That's how we learn best. Immediate feedback. Then give them a score. If they missed 2, that would mean they got 18 out of 20 right. And that's the score that you will type in the text box, or you can text that score to me on my phone. Good luck, boys and girls, and we'll see you tomorrow.